Thank you, everyone, for coming. This is the Unity on the River annual meeting for 2025. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Let's start by praying in. If we can all just kind of relax where we are. And we'll take 3 breaths in. So breathe in through your nose. Deep breath in. And exhale anything that doesn't serve. Just let it go. Breathe in calming, fresh energy through your nose. And exhale anything that doesn't serve our higher purpose. Any anxieties, any stress, just let it go. And breathe in once again through your nose. And exhale any worries. There's plenty of time to worry about stuff later. Let's clear our mind and focus on the matter at hand. Mother, Father, God, we are so grateful for the opportunity for Unity on the River to come together to reflect on where we have been, to look at where we are, and to manifest what we choose to be. We call on Divine Spirit and our higher selves to guide us as we navigate our way to creating the unity of the river we desire and deserve. Amen. Okay. Let me get this going here. There we go. I see the cursor. It worked better left-handed last time. There we go. Okay, we prayed in. So.
I think something should be mentioned on the current bylaws specify that a quorum for annual meeting is presence of 25 members. It used to be a little more vague, but I believe that's what the current bylaws say. So my count is that we do meet that criteria. And so any vote that we take here at this meeting will be that.
Okay, thank you. For the streamers, Stan pointed out that the bylaws say that in order for the votes to be valid, we have to have a quorum of 25 people present. We do, and so all the votes that we take will be valid. Members. Yes. Okay, so everybody who is a member, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm getting about 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21. So.
Thank you, Ann.
Okay, yeah.
Therein lies one of our problems. We need more members.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to see if we can get more members from downstairs. So, can you see if any?
3 people. Susan Colburn is one of them, so there is a member on it.
Okay. Okay.
Hard to say, but Susan Colburn is, and she's on there.
So if you're online and you're a member, if you can just put that in the chat.
Yep.
So I think with the people online will be good.
But we do need, if you're not a member, please consider taking the prosperity class and unity basics class and becoming a member.
Yeah, we will talk more about that, but there are benefits to membership, and one is that you get to be in on the decisions, the important decisions, and we have some important ones that could be coming up this year, like hiring a minister, at some point in the future, maybe moving to a different location, renting, buying. So if you want to have a voice in that, you need to be a member, and we are offering those classes in the coming few months. So both the Unity Basics and the Prosperity will be offered in the next few months, so you will be able to take those and become a member. Okay. All right, wonderful. So this is the agenda. I'm going to give an update on various topics. We're going to go through the Director of Operations report, what Christian has been up to, and he and the treasurer put together stuff on our finances. And then one of the big things we need to do is to nominate the new board, so we'll be doing that at the end, and also nominating people for the nominating committee for the board in 2026. Okay? So let's start by acknowledging the people. If I can get- No, oh, that's.
I can do it too.
Yeah, next slide, please. So, trying to do this with the hand that I usually don't do the mouse with, and it's tricky. So we, and, you know, Maggie did a great job of acknowledging a lot of people during service that make this run, but we want to be sure we do that formally in this meeting. So Christian Hayes, our Director of Operation, if you want to stand, he's done he's really done a fantastic job of stepping into this and getting up and running. Mark Rosen, Communications. I don't know if he's still here, but let's give him a round of applause. Okay. One of the reasons that we have more people attending every week is that he's doing things like boosting ads on Facebook and things like that to bring in more people. We have, of course, Brian Dozier on, you know, sound and music. Yeah. And Leandron over here, then working with the tech. And, yeah, Lee's one of those people where something needs to be done, he just jumps in and does it. It's wonderful. Meg Rain, music, thank you. And she and the whole music team, like the choir, everyone, it's just you enrich our community so much. It wouldn't be the same without you. So thank you. We really do appreciate that. Our worship team, we have a great rotation of speakers. So let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for them. You know, we are really blessed with some really world-class, high-quality speakers. Our prayer chaplains. Yeah. Everyone that serves on a committee, there's a lot of people that serve on committees, so thank you for all the committee members. And just all the volunteers in general. We went through them recently with Volunteer Appreciation Day. And you know, most of the people sitting here have volunteered at one point doing one thing, and that's what makes us work. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are awesome. Okay, if we can have the next slide. So we're talking about the property. As we've talked in previous meetings, we're not actively looking for new property at this time. We got a really good deal here. Did I leave you out of that list? Are you on that? I apologize. Okay, the two Schneiders, they're on that list. I apologize. I'm going to just make a note. The property search. Yeah. I was going over that real quickly this morning going, wait a minute. Anyway. So we're going to stay here. Our current plan is, probably going to stay here until we outgrow this space. And by that time, we'll have more financial resources to take on something that's bigger, more permanent, but more expensive as well. Okay. So we are, if any opportunities come up, we will look at them. So if you see any space you might think might be interesting, you can let the property committee know. But we are not actively going out there and pursuing property at this time. The next slide is our minister search. We are actively looking for ministers. And we actually have two possibilities right now. So as of a couple days ago, somebody who formerly applied and then withdrew has reapplied. And so I just, like within the last 24 hours, sent that paperwork on to the committee for them to look at that and reconsider that. And then the other possibility, if you can click again, Lee,
Got it.
is Martine has applied to be our minister. So we're very fortunate, very excited to have that possibility. Right now, she's waiting to complete her paperwork to Unity Worldwide, and then they will let us know. We expect that she expects to do that this week. And so then Unity Worldwide will notify us, and we will send that information to the committee. They can go through the process. Even though we already know her, we're going to go through the process just like we would everyone else. And we'll keep you abreast of how that goes. Next slide. So one of the things that's very important to the board is that we nourish this community. This is a vibrant spiritual community. We want it to stay that way. So we very much want to continue to make this a lot more than just a Sunday service, right? You want more than that. We want to provide more than that. And so there's a number of things that we do. The concerts, we've had a lot of concerts last year, some great concerts. We're going to continue to do concerts this year. We do things like we're starting up games after hospitality. So it's kind of like game night with your family, only it's with your spiritual community in the afternoon. So we had one of those. We played Left, Right, Center and Farkle. If you've never played Farkle, it's a lot of fun. So we'll probably do that once a month or so. It's just a way to have fun after church if you're interested. And doing things like the picnic when it gets warm. Making sure our connections team is strong so that if you're in need of something, that people know about it and can help you out. So we are a supportive community and we do support each other. So if you offer, a lot of us gain a lot of joy from giving support, as well as that we gain from getting support when we need it. So we want to be sure both of those things happen. And Phyllis has done a wonderful job at that. So thank you so much for that, Phyllis. Yeah. Avengers in Faith is another one. Phyllis was instrumental in that. We're going to plan to do that again. And we're going to get the children's program going. So Lynette, I'll let you talk to that.
Yeah, I just want to update you on where we're at with that. I'm very, very grateful that we have 4 very able-bodied volunteers. Thank you, Renee, Maureen, Kayla Hayes, and Leslie. Not Louise, Leslie. We need more people. And I just, want to appeal to you to, see if there's a way that you can volunteer or anyone you know can volunteer to take, like one day a month maybe, or one day every 2 months, or periodically, or to be a substitute. So we also had a candidate for a teacher. And the way that we got that candidate was that a congregant knew was a retired teacher, and he suddenly thought of her as a possibility. So just put it in your brains and get your radar out. Is there anyone you know out there who is a retired teacher or loves children who might be a potential candidate? This woman actually was very interested, but has family crisis going on right now and is unable to take it on. So we're still looking and trusting that somebody will come forth. So we're planning to start with childcare on the first Sunday in April, April 6th. And so anyone you know who has children, invite them back, and we'll have childcare.
They need to be quartered first, and we need to talk about a quarry officer.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All the volunteers, too. Okay. Okay. Yep, we'll do that. Okay, that's
Okay, thank you. And of course, we have these wonderful classes that we offer. And we're continuing to offer those. So we have the cards that Susan Dunoff is offering. Linda, I'm sorry. Linda Dunoff, there's that class. We have a couple classes that are needed for membership that will be coming up. If you can give me the next slide.
This one?
Yes. So to be a member, there are two classes you need to take, Unity Basics and Prosperity. So those, in the past, we haven't been offering those. It got disrupted during the pandemic, and we had a hard time getting that back together, but we have those classes in place now. So as you heard during service, the Prosperity class is being offered starting later in March. And the Unity Basics will be, Amy is offered to teach that in March, probably online, so we'll be setting that up. And Michelle is offered to teach a class, probably in person. We'll probably do that a couple months afterwards. We'll get the dates to you. We're still working on those dates, but we do have people committed to teaching those classes so that you can become members. So please take advantage of that. And by the way, even if you're already a member or you don't want to be a member, the Prosperity class is an amazing class. So don't take it because you want to be a member. My recommendation is take it because you want to be prosperous in all ways in your life. This is a class that can really transform you. A good prosperity class can transform your life, and this is a really good one. So I would recommend everybody taking advantage of that. Because and I'll get to the financials later. The more prosperous you are, the more prosperous the community is, the more prosperous Unity on the River is. It all goes together. And so this is one of the ways that Unity on the River helps you to be prosperous so we can share in that all together. So the next slide is about our operations. I'm sorry, benefits of membership. I forgot to mention that. This is from our bylaws, all the wonderful things you get with membership. I'm not going to ask you to read that whole thing, but one of the key things up at the top is you get to vote. Right, so I mentioned we're going to have some key votes coming up this year. We're likely to be voting on our minister. We may or may not vote this year on a new property, but at some point we will. And since that's a big ticket item, if we buy something, that's a big ticket item that has to be approved by everybody in the congregation, or by a vote by everybody in the congregation. So there are some big decisions that are coming up, as well as board members, which we'll be voting on later on in this meeting. So there are a lot of benefits to being members. So please, we invite you to take those classes and become members. Okay, next slide. So one of the things we're committed to is growing this community. We know we have something special here. We all know that, right? We have something really special here. And the Bible says, don't hide your light under a basket, right? We need to shine out in the community. And there's a lot of people that are looking for something like this right now. There's a lot of people that are feeling unsettled about what's going on. There's a lot of people that are feeling that stirring deep within themselves. Their soul wants to awaken up, but they don't know what to do. They need the guidance. They need the structure and the opportunities to guide them on that journey. It's something that's hard to do on your own. We provide that for people. It's this tremendous gift that we can make in transforming the lives of people in our community that haven't found us yet. in our greater community. So there's a number of things we're doing to reach out to them. I mentioned the Facebook ads. We're going to work on collaborating with other centers. The collaboration with the PEG Center is a great way that we can work together to do things. There are a lot of other, yoga studios and other spiritual centers and churches and stuff that we could interact with. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, our cards. Yeah. Well, I'll get that into that in a minute. And we're looking for things to be more visible. Like a few times we were in the Yankee homecoming parade, so we're going to look at doing that again. So if anyone has, a nice pickup truck we can decorate for the parade, let us know. Or, a nice sports car with like maybe a Mustang. Or, yeah. Trans Am, yeah, something like that would look good waving. Yeah, we could, so we'll keep that in mind. We'll think about that in the summer. Pardon?
Singing.
Yes. We could, yes, singing all the way down the Yankee homecoming parade with the choir. Yeah, yeah, I love it. Yes, that would be a good way to represent who we are. Yeah. On a wind-powered truck. Yeah, right. And also, last time I was at the Yankee homecoming, I was watching the bed race, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun to have Unity on the River have, a bed in the bed race? So so anyone who's ready to, find a bed, put some wheels on it, and help us run down that road, that would be a lot of fun. So we're looking for things like that to do to have a bigger presence in the community, and we're looking for people to help us with that. So we'll be doing more of that stuff and talk to you more about that stuff. I'm looking for people to join us and having fun with that kind of stuff. Okay, if you can click again, Lee. The most effective way to tell people about us is to tell people about us, right? I mean, raise your hand if you're here because somebody told you about Unity on the River. Yeah, that's most of us here, right? And that's why we have these cards, right? So you give these, and I carry this around. I actually gave one out a couple days ago. Not something I expected to do. I was just having a conversation, and it came up. And I said, hey, this is the information. Join us if you'd like to. So, we're not asking you to hard sell. We're not asking you to go door to door. Just if it comes up in a conversation, have these handy and let's, get the word out. If you're open to that possibility, the people that are looking for this, their energy will resonate with your energy, the universe will bring you together, and that conversation will happen. Okay, next slide. So we're going to have more concerts this year. As you saw in the announcement, the a cappella group is going to be here in March, so we're excited about that. We're going to have kirtans, some jazz concerts, and of course all the holiday concerts. How many people here went to the swing dance concert? Was that fun? Yes. Should we have that again? Yes. All right. Okay, we'll add that to the concerts. Okay, wonderful. Next slide. So the operations, I mentioned you've done a lot of stuff. Did you want to talk about it, or do you want me to talk about it? Okay, then yeah, let's have you come up. The next slide. Next slide. Yeah, operations.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? I stand in the presence. Namaste. So, having stepped into the position in July-August timeframe, I want to give credit where credit is due to Mr. Stan. He had a lot to do with Thank you for the smooth transition in, too, Stan. Appreciate that. One of the first line items here was managing the property sale investments. Stan was a driving force behind that. Jim has a lot to do with that as well. We meet with our investment advisor, and he guides us on safe and fruitful investments to earn some interest on the property sale monies that we got. During the year, we're very mindful of keeping expenses to a minimum. We have opened up a little bit more since we've come out of COVID. However, there are a lot of things that churches are eligible for as far as software and things of that nature. And we've got a lot of our, I want to say, background software that we use is very inexpensive and sometimes free with grants that these different companies allow for us to have. As far as different events that were organized this past year, we organized the 30th anniversary celebration, which was very successful. We also had a great time at the Thanksgiving Eve dinner at Camp Dennison. That's such a cozy, cool place. Is everybody down for that again next year? Same spot? Nice. My son actually goes to school there as well a couple days a week, so I'm kind of partial to that location too. It's a great spot. We organized and had a successful swing dance at City Hall, and the day after, we had the Christmas cantata and concert here, and we did notice that there were quite a few people that were dancers that came from the swing dance and showed up the next day. And that's the awareness that we're trying to create. We're trying to drive in some new population into the church as well. More of a bookkeeping behind the scenes. We'd sent out all the W-2s and 1099s to all the employees and contractors. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people, get compensated for, and we want to make sure that they're able to file their taxes in a timely fashion. That's very important. I also coordinate with communications and the music staff. I work very closely with Mark Rosen to keep the message of unity fresh, current, and engaging. You might have seen some changes that have happened recently. We're trying to get away from so much text and more into videos and pictures and things that keep people's attention. So when they look at it, they want to keep looking at it. I also coordinate with the worship staff on the weekly Zoom meetings. Every Wednesday we meet on Zoom. We talk about what happened the week before its service, how we can improve what may have happened, and what the speaker needs for the upcoming service the following week. Next slide, Lee.
I might change the order.
That's all right. Can you do the next one, please? Jim, do you want to talk now? Because the slides are a little out of order. Or do you want to just skip forward and I can finish? Whatever you want to do.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So Lee, can you go to, I'll tell you when to stop. Right there. Back one, yep. So I thought it was important to do a snapshot of the last few years, 22, 3, and 4, income versus expenses. It's not an extremely detailed report, but it is kind of a bird's eye view. And what we need to understand coming off of 22 into 23, when you look at the overall income going from like 177 up to maybe about the 212 level from 22 to 23, the blue bar, there are some investment income factors that go into that as well. So it's not all donations, it's not all fundraising efforts. We include in these numbers the interest that we're making on the property sale investment funds, just so everybody understands that. Again, the expenses have kind of stayed in the 180 to 192 range over the last 4 years. However, if we're going to keep expanding and keep, creating a larger footprint, we do need to have a little bit of a marketing budget out there that's a little more than what we've had, and that will pay for itself. We'll put that out there and that will come back to us. So pretty stable over the last 3 years. Now, if we look at the next slide, I thought this was important to highlight the number of donors that we've had from 2023 to 2024. If you look at the total amount of people that made donations year over year, we've gone up 21 people from 95 in 23 to 116 this past year. However, you see the total amount of donations has gone down. So we have more donors that are making smaller donations, and we have larger donators that are making a little bit less. Like you see in 2023, there was one donor who made up about, that's a good number, about 70% or so, 60% or so of our total donations brought in, and the same with 2024. When we rely on one donor so heavily to bring in 40 or 50% of our income, it's a little concerning if something happened to that one particular donor. So it's more of an effort that everybody needs to step up just a little bit. And what I put down below, to break this down, if everyone who donated in 2024 just donated $10 more per week for the remainder of this year, we will collect over $50,000 more, and we'll bring in approximately $190,000 in donations, which would be very close to what we collected in 2019, which was our last pre-COVID year of donations. So you have to kind of block out 2020 through 2023. People were just getting back into service. So if we looked at pre-COVID, if we can get back to those numbers by everybody just donating a little bit more, that will make a huge difference to what we're able to do here as a community as well. This doesn't include attracting any new members either, or any new people coming to service. This is exactly what we had last year, assuming there was no new influx of congregants, which this is a year of growth that we're going into. We are going to grow. We are going to double the amount of people that come here to service, and we're holding it in our consciousness to have at least 150 to 200 people every week in service. And that itself will perpetuate and create more energy and more flow and attract more people. People want to go where the action is. We need to be the action. And that is my section for now, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions on any of the figures that I just put up? I know it's a lot to absorb. And let me bring the microphone over. Okay, so I can stay here. Right there. Just press the button, Brad, for like a half a second. It'll light up green, then it will be on.
So the numbers that you come up with for donations, is that the people who tithe? Is that people who are writing checks? Or is it,
So,
how do you know?
So what that is, that does not include the anonymous cash donations. We don't know, it's included in the total, but it's included in the total dollar amount, but it's not included in the total amount of people that tithe, because cash comes in anonymously and we don't know who donated that money. So does that answer your question, or?
No, when you're saying you have like 11 donors, that does 1,000 to, as an example, from $1 to $2,000.
On a yearly basis,
Right,
correct.
on an annual
Yep.
basis. How do you know it's 11 people? Is it, you see names coming in?
We track that with either online donations through Venmo or checks. So if somebody's name is attached to the donation, if it's a non-cash donation, that's where those numbers come from.
And you can do automatic withdrawal.
And people can do automatic withdrawal that comes out monthly without them having to do anything. We have a lot of people that do that.
And where are the numbers for people who just give cash during the week?
It's anonymous.
Oh, that's part of the anonymous.
Unless they fill out an
okay.
envelope with their name on it, there's no way of knowing who put 20 in or 10 in the basket. Again, it's in the overall amount collected, but we can't delineate how many people donated cash. I guess we should ask people to fill out the envelopes that we have for cash. We have envelopes in storage. However, if somebody wants to remain anonymous, they're not going to fill the envelope out. That's their choice. But we can at least request that so we can get a better tally on who's donating what for cash.
Thank you, Christian, for
Thank
your
you.
service. Thank you. It just feels important to me to recognize whether this person is in the room or watching or just off somewhere in the world, that the person that's donated 50, 60% as a one-person donor, if we could just put our hands on our hearts and just say, thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Let's say it 3 times together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. That was, by the way, somebody that took a prosperity class here, and it transformed his life.
I have reached out several times inviting this particular person to different events and different things. I don't want to push too hard. However, this person is definitely welcome. We'd like to see them in person at some point. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you.
So do you want to do the treasurer slides? Okay. I apologize for changing these. You want on the budget? Oh, we want to do the budget first?
Yes. We make a budget every year, and the first thing we do is get out the crystal ball. We dust it off, and we hope for the best. Yes. Well, what we really do is what Christian does is we have a computer program called QuickBooks, and all our expenses are categorized by likeness and so on, and it's kept track in QuickBooks. And what we do is we look at all those different expenses that we had in 2023 and 2024 to make the budget for 2025. We keep the numbers about the same. Where we know there's going to be additions, we increase those numbers a little bit. And that's how we arrive at the budget. Now, if you look at the first number, there's $117,000 for salaries. That includes Christian, Mark, Meg, Lee, all the Sunday speakers, a new minister, and a new Sunday school teacher. So that's what makes up the salary. We may or may not spend all that money, but we're prepared in case we do. The music program costs $42,200. That's to pay for all the musicians and the sound for the year. And for facilities, it's $25,000. That includes the rent, telephone, and storage. We have a storage in Brentwood that we have all the material that we took out of the building is in that storage space, so we pay that expense every month. Then we also tithe 10% of our income to various places. In fact, we have a committee that is now trying to consolidate those and make them local, so it'll be more meaningful. So we anticipate tithing $16,500 during this year. Our other expenses are miscellaneous. There's things like insurance, copyright fees, payroll, service, workman's comp, things like that. So the total was $222,800. Our revenue, we expect to collect about $60,000 from Sunday service during the year. Our mail-in tithes are about $70,000, and our online donations are about $30,000. And we have other income from various concerts, classes, and so on that make up about $5,000. So if you look at the totals, the total
expenses are $222,800. Our total projected income is $165,000. That leaves a negative gap of $57,800. And the way we're going to close that gap, if I could have the next slide, please.
That's going,
No,
go backwards,
prosperity accounts.
backward, one more? Yeah.
There we go. These are our prosperity accounts. Just take a minute and look at that bottom line, $993,419. That's how much money we have on hand. And the way that's made up is there's $800,000 from the property sale. That's in our Edward Jones property account, and it was valued at $853,000 at the beginning of January. If all those investments mature, it will actually be $865,000. We also have an endowment fund, and that is $65,115. And that stems from a congregant gave stock to Unity on the River a long time back, and that has been invested and changed stocks and so on and so forth. Stan has been leading that committee for those investments. Also, the beginning of January, we had $8,256 in our checking account and $21,874 in our savings account at the bank. And this year, from the investments we have, that $853,000 at Edward Jones will generate $45,173 in interest. So if we take that interest, the money in our savings account and our checking account, we can close the balance between our expenses and our projected income and still have about $20,000 left over. And we don't touch any of the principal either in the endowment fund or the property account. So those stay intact as they are. And that's our outlook for 2025. Any questions? Just look at that number. I was a treasurer back in 2005, 2006, and we never had a positive number. It was always negative.
It's great. I have a request. I don't know if we do this, if we could mention in the bulletin or mention during the service each month who we tithe to, who Unity on the River tithes to, especially if it's local, so we can.
We have been
Keep track
doing
of
that.
that.
Oh, go ahead, Brad.
And then we stopped as far as announcements, so nobody knows.
So Lynette and I have been working on trimming down the list of people that we tithe or donate to. And what our goal is for this coming year, or during this year, is to have about 4 or 5 local where we can make an impact. And what we want to do is we want to involve these organizations and collaborate with them and have them come into service quarterly to receive the donation that we want to give to them. So they can be part of us, we can be part of them. And it's also an opportunity to share what we're doing with other organizations that are local. They can get a nice picture here with us. We can put that out there and show the community what we're doing for other local charities and fundraising efforts. And we'd like to get it down to 4 or 5, so it's a quarterly event here, and they come to one service a quarter. And I feel like if we get to that number, we can be more impactful as opposed to spreading the money to 10 or 12 different organizations throughout the year.
I think that's a great idea. It also, if we had the opportunity to volunteer, like at our neighbor's table, they're always looking for volunteers.
It's
And-
going to
and
open up
church
those dialogues.
sponsors
Yes.
and things, like we did in the past.
Yep, so while they're here and they're a guest of ours to receive their gift from us, that opens up the dialogue to volunteer for them, or they might want to show more interest in coming to a service here the following week or whatnot. So I feel like it's going to create more community and more dialogue between us and those that we are supporting locally.
Thank you for doing that.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Lynette.
I know this year we were too late to do the ELF program that we usually have done in the past, so I'd like to put that back on our radar, and I'm not sure when, is it October that we need to touch base with that organization? So if we can put that back on the list and do like that giving tree that we've done in the past at Christmas time? Yeah, so, that was kind of, with the local organizations, it was tied
Yeah,
in with
that-
that. So
that-
I thought that that was a good activity for us to get involved in.
That is on the calendar,
Great,
yeah.
thank you.
Okay. So the next slide. There we go, money. Oh,
Yeah, also bring back the teddy bears. If teddy bear delivery with the choir going to, or the sing-along that we do, Youth Ed used to do at the nursing homes. Yeah. If the nursing homes are open to that, I love that idea too.
okay. Thank you. So we are going to do some money-raising events. Those include having concerts. We don't make a lot of money off of concerts, but we make some, but it also enriches our community and gives an opportunity for other people to join our community. So we really believe in those. We will continue to do those. Raffles and auctions, those are great. We're going to continue to do those like the one we had today. And of course, if everyone here takes a prosperity class and brings prosperity into their lives, we'll have all that. So all that extra money you'll be making, you can tithe on that, and we will all be abundant, and the one person that wins that lottery ticket will definitely wipe out all our budget, our deficits, so. Yeah.
I talked to Christian about this too. I'm willing to be on a committee of additional fundraising, like bringing in guest speakers, authors, because we need to think more globally. We've been playing small. And when we were Uni on the River in Amesbury, we did have a lot of authors come in. We had guest singers come in. We had more. And I'd like us to get back to that, even if it's planning a year from now. But the projection is to have, have a committee that dedicates their time to researching and speaking at, we have Jackie Woodside that is a world traveler. I mean, she meets with all these wonderful authors and teachers. We have Mel Robbins, who lives in our area. We could have her here, to think bigger. So I'm willing to be on that committee if other people will step up, and work towards that. Work towards bringing more guests here, even peacekeepers. We want to bridge our community. right? And we want to be an example because that's in our mission and vision, right?
Yeah.
To hold the torch for others. Okay, thank you.
All right, now it's time to elect the Board of Trustees for next year. So I'll bring you up for that.
First of all, I want to say that even though we tried to bully him into staying on the board, that Jim is stepping down. And I want to thank him for his service. Oh my God. I can't read that. Okay, and you want me to go through all this?
Yeah, so according to the bylaws, we need to read this to you.
Okay, so,
So you can read it off the screen if you want, if that's easier. Whichever.
it's tiny writing here. So just so you know, the Board of Trustees is very well qualified to serve you. We are required to live in accord with the Jesus Christ principles of love and truth as taught by Unity. That's a very high qualification. Furthers the work of this ministry through his or her active interest, love, and support. Is a sincere and continuing student of Unity, conversant with its teachings, and has demonstrated leadership capabilities and will meet such other qualifications as the Board of Trustees may establish as a matter of policy. So it is, the nominating committee has approved 2 really great candidates that we're very excited about. And I'm going to invite them to come and introduce themselves, and then we're going to vote them onto the board. So, Ben, you want to come?
First of all, I'm very honored to be here and to be able to serve. I live in Newburyport. I first came to Unity in 2010. After my first service, I never looked back. I'm sure a lot of you know how that feels. I'm a father and grandfather, which I love those roles, a partner. My passions is learning and teaching in health, wellness, mind, body, spirit. I'm a heart math certified coach. And I promise if I am elected, I will bring both my divine feminine and a strong, mature masculine. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ben. And Renee.
All right, so no fair, I didn't write out a speech, so. I am so grateful for this opportunity. I've been coming to Unity since 2005, and I knew the day I walked in here that this was my home, this was my spiritual center, and I want to be part of this. I want to make this bigger and better and keep it going, keep the train going forward. So I'm called to be a part of this. So I appreciate you all. You all know me pretty well, but it's up there, that's who I am. And you know, I love everyone here, and I love kids, and I want to be part of it all. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
So now we vote. So let's vote for Ben. We need 25 votes, right?
We need a majority.
Okay.
We need a majority.
Yeah, but we need 25 voting members. Okay. Raise your hands. Yes. We got 25? We got 25?
Well, we have, what, 21 here?
How many online?
6.
6. Yay! And Renee.
Yes.
Yay! So for our proposed board, you want to do this?
Sure. So this is our proposed board in 2025. So I will remain as president. Lynette is stepping up as vice president. Thank you. We have Tom, who will remain as secretary. Ben, who has now been approved, will be our secretary, our treasurer. So thank you for that, stepping right into it. Sharon and Phyllis will be our members at large.
And Renee.
And Renee, yeah. And if we hire a minister, the minister will also be a member of the board. So the bylaws say we need 8 to 10 members, so with the minister, we'll be at full 8. We'll have enough.
Yes. Talk about the nominating.
We don't, we need one more board member. We're assuming that will be the minister, but if someone else is interested, let the nominating committee know, and the nominating committee is what we're going to be doing next. So for those of you who are streaming, she was asking if we need more board members, and the answer is if you want to be a board member, let us know. There is a process for bringing people in between these meetings. So the next slide is a call for the board nominating committee. So your job is to be thinking about who would be a good board member throughout the year, but really in September, really start tapping people on the shoulder and talking and figuring out who's going to be on the board, going through that vetting procedure that's in the bylaws, and so that we can get them. And there's a lot of forms, paperwork. There's a process that is designed to be introspective so that people really think about whether the being on the board is right for them. So it's not something you can do quickly. It's designed to be a kind of a slow introspective process. So we want lots of time for that to happen. And then they would be nominated formally at the next board meeting or the next annual meeting. Okay? So what we need is one member from the congregation to serve on this committee. Do we have, okay. So Edith, great. We need one alternate in case someone else can't serve. Is someone willing to do that? Or is anyone online willing to do that? You? Okay, Mark. Mark is willing to do that. Okay. Okay. We need one board representative. So you're willing to do that? Okay. So generally, that's the vice president, so thank you, Lynette. The minister would also be on this if we hire a minister. When we hire a minister, yes. Yeah. Assuming we're all not annihilated by nuclear blast, we will continue, and yes. So the chair of the committee will be selected by the committee members. It'll be an additional person that the committee is going to tap someone on the shoulder, so they will do that. So we have our committee for next year. So thank you very much.
Your job is to have that radar out.
Yeah. So, and just to remind you, your job is to kind of have your radar out and to be thinking about who, and, I've already started conversations with people about being on the board next year. There's some people that weren't ready this year, but, we're talking about maybe next year, so you want to have those conversations. And that brings us to the healing process, and this is part of why we're here, and she welcomes that. And yeah, so let's go ahead and pray out. Mother, Father, God, thank you so much for your love and guidance during this meeting. We know that we are taking on a lot, and we do not shy away from stepping into our greatness in order to manifest what we dream and deserve. As a congregation, we are abundant in time, treasure, and talent. Unity on the River is a jewel. We proudly shine our light brightly for all to see. We graciously share our love for all to feel. We sincerely pray for those in need and do what we can to help. We humbly hold ourselves up as an example of what a spiritual center can be. God bless us all. Amen. Thank you, everyone, for coming.